Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 359.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
We are back, well rested.
Yes, we had a wonderful time. We did a preview cruise with my mom for the 2KK getaway cruise in October. We went on the same ship. We went to the MSC private island, and we have loads to report back.
So we're going to be putting up a video. I know this is a keto channel and somebody is going to complain.
That's okay.
But we are going to be putting up a preview video of the MSC short, including a full walkthrough. We're going to post it on actually this channel as well as our RVing channel because we are about living life beyond the couch. And we're going to go over our pros, our cons, show you the whole ship. We'll be working on that later on this week. We did it a little differently. We got a lot of B-roll and we're going to kind of talk over it. So we kind of have to record all of that. But overall, very impressed.
Yes.
There are definitely some things that are better than Royal Caribbean and some things that could use improving. But when you look at the price, absolutely worth it. So much so, we enjoyed MSC so much that we booked a cruise for 2 years from today on the new MSC World Atlantic. And also starting in 2027, they're going to Alaska. And you can get an inside cabin going to Alaska on MSC for $1,900 for the whole cabin.
Alaska.
So we may even put that out there. Maybe we'll do a future 2KK getaway cruise to Alaska. Let us know what you think.
I don't know how better that I can say, yeah, we really liked it, than us putting down our money for more of it.
And we have 2 years to save for it.
You know what I know is when you don't like something, you're like, oh, I'd like to book another one, right?
So welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch. If you are new here, Keto Beyond the Couch is all about our subscribers. We do this every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We do it live whenever possible. We like to celebrate our subscribers. If you're new here, the way we're going to do this is we're going to go through and basically talk about the comments that we found on our social media networks, like our Mighty Networks group, members.twocrazyketos.com, where you can join for free. We don't pay too much attention to the chat till like the last 10 or 15 minutes. So if you have a question, hold off till then, or use the super chat function. That's the little $ down below in the chat window. Because when you do that, it highlights our screen and lets us know that you have a question. I have to start off the day with saying happy birthday to Sarah G.
Sarah G in the house. You want to sing?
Watched our animals, spoils our animals. They don't even want to see us when we get home.
No, everybody's always like, oh, it's you again.
Yeah.
Where's Aunt Sarah? Okay, ready?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sarah.
Happy birthday to you, and many more, so many more. I want to say thank you so much to JJ, who said I'm rocking my new hairstyle.
Yes, Rachel got her hair cut.
I got them all cut.
The MSCC short. Well, here's the thing. So if you are a higher up level, I would not do this if you're just a gold level, Royal Caribbean, or another cruise line. But if you are a higher up level with any cruise line, or even something like Delta Airlines, something like that, MSC will match your status. They want to get you over there. So we went into MSC. We're diamond members with Royal Caribbean.
Never been on MSC before.
Never been on MSC. We started off as a gold member. So they give you 20% off a spa. Well, it's only 15% off on when you go into the port on those days. And so the haircut was like $80. Like that's cheaper than going to like JCPenney.
That was my JCPenney haircut.
But they did a great job.
I really
told them like make me look young.
It was funny. I sat down and the gentleman was like, well, what do you want? And I was like, I'm turning 50 this year and I just don't want to look old. Do what you think looks good with my face. And so I enjoyed it. It was definitely something different, to come back. But
first time you've cut your hair short and I really like it.
Thank you. I do think that I'm bringing back rockabilly and also pillbox hats. I may be bringing those back. So stay tuned.
Okay, let's talk about today's sponsor. It is Purely Tallow.
Oh my gosh, do they have a deal for Valentine's Day?
So we love Purely Tallow. It's become Rachel's really go-to facial routine. It uses beef tallow, which is a super healthy fat to be putting on your body. And it puts a protective layer. And we've been using Purely Tallow, or really Rachel's been using Purely Tallow. I do put some of it on my hands, and I use the beard stuff.
The beard oil.
But Purely Tallow is having a Valentine's Day bundle. So guys, you need to get this for your wife.
Yes.
Because it is super cheap. Listen, I looked at the cost of this stuff on the cruise lines and like the skincare regimen.
It was
and
ridiculous.
That's tax and duty free. I mean, listen,
Still
here's their deal. $149. You're going to get a whole bundle. Rachel's got a list of what's in the bundle over here.
I do, because, and then we also have a 2K discount.
Yes.
So
tell them what's in there.
Okay. So basically it's like all of it. I mean, this will make a really nice gift basket for your spouse. It's all of the most romantic tallow flavors. So they have Egyptian jasmine whipped tallow lotion. Then you have the silken tallow pump lotion in blooming citrus. You have blue lavender Trinity balm, the Bulgarian rose satin body spray, and the Roman chamomile pure fume. So, I mean, this is crazy. We were looking even at just like a perfume.
Yeah.
It was $80 to $175.
Yeah, like I love Jean Paul Gaultier, but I can't afford that.
On the ship was ridiculous.
It was like $100.
And that was with sale and like all the duty free. So so $149.
Normally $170. It's on sale for $149. But here's the best part.
Right.
If you use the link that's on the screen or down below in the description box and the code 2krazyketos, you get another 10% off.
Not only is it the only thing that I use like on my face, and it feels awesome, but it's also my makeup remover. It's also if I have like a small abrasion, like the stinking cat scratching me, but like a light scratch, it's really all purpose.
So if you're interested in getting some beef tallow lotion either for yourself or for your spouses on Valentine's Day gift, hey, it's coming up. Then go ahead, use the link on the screen or the one down below in the description box and the code 2krazyketos. You'll save 10%. I do want to mention, if I can pull it up, we will be speaking at Dr. Kiltz's meetup in Sarasota. It's actually in Tampa, Florida, next Saturday, January 7th. So there's a lot of speakers. I don't have a list of everything up here, but there's going to be a lot of different speakers there. It's only like 3 hours. And the tickets are $150. Now, if I want me to be honest, when I saw $150, I'm like, that's a lot of money for a 3 hour meetup. That it is.
Yeah.
But that includes going to, what is it?
The dinner at the Gaucho's.
El Gaucho.
The Brazilian
steakhouse afterwards, where we went there during Hack Your Health. It's $80 a person.
It was $85 by itself.
Yeah.
Per person.
Like I almost fell over when my bill came at $180.
So I was like, oh, okay, well that's totally worth it.
So $150 including going out to dinner for like with everybody, with us, Dr. Kiltz. There's I think Dr. Avita. I can't remember the whole list of everybody that's going to be there.
And it's a swanky Brazilian steakhouse.
Yeah, very, very nice. And they also have a deal you can do for $250 VIP tickets. So you get VIP seats at the thing. You get your dinner and you get a private dinner at Dr. Kiltz's house.
Hello.
In Sarasota the Friday night before.
I'm not going to make it weird. I am going to be there, but I'm not going to
be there.
I will not make it weird. I am not going to sneak in and try to use his personal bathroom or any of that kind of stuff.
We're going to be there because we're actually going to be on Dr. Kiltz's podcast.
So excited for that.
So super excited about that. So if you are in the Central Florida, Southwest Florida area, consider coming out to Dr. Kiltz's meetup. We don't make any money off of this, but it's a great way to spend some time with some professionals, very intimate setting, and go out to dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started with our first post. It is from Kelly.
Kelly P.
Said, spend more time with people who bring out the best in you, not the stress in you.
So this is particularly important right now. As people, I hope you guys have battened down the hatches. You've got your cozy blanket. You've got a fireplace. You've got some candles ready, like we do when hurricane season is in full force. But right now, you've done all that you can do. And when doing all you can do, stand. Right? That's the best that we can do right now. So I find in seasons like this where it's like I have enough to concern myself with without putting myself in relationship with people who stir pots, act crazy, they're always stressed out, and they want you to join them in the stress.
Yeah.
Like that is terrible for your health.
So this past week, we actually, in our energy keto course, which when we're done with it this week, we're actually going to make it re-available for people, but on more like a one-on-one thing. But this week we talked about stress and how important it is in stress, and that if you're not handling your stress well, it's not getting rid of stress. You can't get rid of stress, and you don't want to get rid of stress. There are good stresses in your life, but they're stressors nonetheless. But you basically, we talked about the nervous system and the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system and where you should be living. And I live in the wrong one. I'll be honest. I live in the wrong one. But it was funny. I was thinking about, somebody made a comment, they love my analogies. And I was thinking about and here's a good analogy for what you need to do when your stress gets really high and how you have to reset it. What would you do? You think about, like, we were on the cruise. And here's the thing, the batteries went dead in our remote control on our TV. We want to turn it on in the evening, right?
It totally went dead.
So there's a little hack that you can do sometimes when your batteries are very, very low. And like there's still a touch of juice left in there.
A little bit of juice.
But they're pretty much dead. And that is, take them out, lick the top, maybe rotate them a little bit, put them back in there, and you can get another couple of zaps on the remote control.
I hope nobody did that before you.
That's what I was trying to do. Okay. That's what I do with my stress management. Instead of changing the batteries, recharging my batteries.
Ooh, that'll preach.
I lick the top of the battery
and just
try to get back to work. So I live in the wrong nervous system.
Is Joe the only one? Let us know in the comments. Is Joe the only one? Or would you,
do you change the batteries, or do you lick the top and try to get a little bit more juice?
Are you licking the top of the battery instead of changing it?
Amy wants to know what time is our Thursday live streams? 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We will have one this week. Sorry, we were on the cruise last week. One thing I will tell you is with MSC, we did not know getting on. We went on with a Wi-Fi package. We got one device each. And with them, whatever device you activate on day one, that's the device you're stuck with. Like, whereas with Royal Caribbean, you can log out of that device and log into another device. You can't do that on MSC. So you have to log into a device on day one. That's the device you're stuck with. So we logged in on our phone. So that means I couldn't log in on my computer anymore.
Right.
And so that was one thing that, it was cheaper. I could have added it on for another $80, but I didn't want to spend $80.
Can we just say before we move on, because I don't know how much of this would be in the video anyway, but I have never seen a more accessible captain ever in my life. That guy was Visa. He was everywhere you want to be.
Driving people around in the golf carts on the island.
We must have hung out with him like 5 times on the cruise. Yeah. Not because we're special. Awesome. Everybody was. And in fact, my mom and I were about to take a picture, and he was like, "Hi, I'm the staff photographer. May I take your picture?" And I was like, "You're the captain."
Yeah.
He was the most coolest guy.
Awesome shit. Very de-stressing for us.
Yes.
Okay. Next one we have is from Carrie.
Hey, Carrie.
Carrie said, "Here's a thought, folks. Dieting is all about losing.
Oof.
The proper human diet way of eating is about using."
Yes.
People talk about losing the fat, but we know that would be catastrophic. Instead, we are retaining our bodies to use the fat the way they were created to operate in the first place. So the next time someone says something about losing the fat, remind yourself you are using your fat, and smile.
Carrie, hello.
That is awesome.
I would totally put that on a t-shirt.
Well, and here's the thing. This is something I say all the time. Keto is not a diet. It is a lifestyle. If you are doing keto as a diet, stop it.
You'll be exhausted. Can you imagine?
Stop it.
Being 50 years from now, you're still going to be on the keto diet. If you get in that mentality, that's horrible.
Here's the thing, okay? A diet has an endpoint.
Sure.
It has an endpoint. You go on a diet to lose weight, and then you lose all your weight, and then what do? You're like, "Oh, I lost all my weight. I'm going to go back to the way I was eating before." You're going to get it all back. Promise. I promise you.
Ask us how we know.
If you go on keto or carnivore to lose, say, 10, 20, 50, 100 pounds, and then go back to the way you were eating, the way you were before, you'll gain all that weight plus more within a year.
Sure. Ask us how we know.
Yeah.
We've been that's the yo-yo diet.
Well, not on keto, but we have done it in other ways. Yeah. So keto is not a diet. It's a lifestyle, and please look at it that way. Next one we have is from Robin.
Robin F.
You guys are so sweet to say I'm inspiring.
You
the
are.
2KK Mighty Networks family really helps keep me motivated. Besides just being in nature, I can share my hikes with others who maybe can't get outside. That's why you're motivating.
That is heart, Robin. That is such a precious heart, because you're right. There are lots of people who are hiking through your pictures, and I would encourage you, if you are somebody who's like, I don't have much to share. Yes, you do. You're just not seeing it through the lens that we see it. You have a precious and unique life that is all your own. Your interests, the flavor that you bring to community is unique.
Yeah.
If you don't share what is important to you and valuable to you and beautiful to you, we miss out.
Yeah.
So please don't withhold that from us. Please follow Robin's lead and what it is that you're doing to move your body and enjoy your life. Share that with the group.
And share your story. It's really important you share your story. I see Amy's talking about she's making like a calendar of live streams and events, which is a great idea. And so is Sean was talking about that, like a great idea for a website. So there is a website, and I know Sean mentioned, I'm going to mention again, if you're looking for keto events throughout the country, there is a website that is actually run by Chris Bear. It's lowcarbevents.com, and basically you can go on there and post whatever. If you're having a meetup, our cruise, anything like that, you can put it on there and you can see all of the different events that are happening. Next one is from Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
Kathy said, I played around with keto years ago, and now I'm working on naturopathy, or osteopath thyroid expert who has written several books, and she is adamant about her patients becoming 100% carnivore in order to heal their thyroid, cortisol, and adrenal issues. I've been halfway doing carnivore for the last 5 months, and it occurred to me yesterday that the reason I've not been feeling too good on it is because I've never given my body a chance to fully go through fat adaptation stage because I keep having a few carbs. I found you after searching for info on the Carnivore brick bars and saw your reviews on that product. I wish I could afford them. Been trying to make my own, but it is tricky. So 2 things. That's where Carnivore is good. Carnivore is good for healing your body. Now, I know, very unpopular opinion. I don't think anybody should be carnivore, purely carnivore, like only eat meat, nothing else for the rest of their life, because there's never been a human civilization that does that, ever. But it is a really good healing thing. And I think that if you are suffering with thyroid issues and other issues, eating carnivore for a while, it could be a year, 2 years, 6 months. It really depends on your body and how you heal. That is a great way to really eliminate all of the outside stuff. As far as Carnivore Bar, we do have a video. I forgot to link it down below, but we do have a video. If you go to our website, it's on there. And if you go to YouTube and search 2 Crazy Ketos, or just Google 2 Crazy Ketos pemmican, you will find how to basically make your own.
Make it on yourself.
Bar. One thing I will tell you is that when you'll see, we put like ratios of fat to your beef that you kind of adjust with for your own texture purpose. But it's a great starting point. Very easy to make pemmican on your own. The key is getting your beef super dry, or whatever protein you're going to use, getting it super, super dry and grinding it. You can use a mortar and pestle. If you have a food processor, that's even better. But as fine of a powder as you can possibly get it, and then using a really good rendered fat. Really good. And beef tallow, it's got to be an animal fat. And I would tell you beef tallow is going to be the best.
I think it's the best.
Next one is from Cat with Issues.
A cat with issues.
First time hearing about strategic carbs, so I asked Gemini, strategic carbs on keto involve intentionally adding specific amounts of carbohydrates at strategic times around workouts or on carb refeed days in variations like the targeted or cyclical ketogenic diet to boost athletic performance, replenish glycogen, and add nutrient variety, while the rest of the time maintaining ketosis for fat adaptation, differing from the standard ketogenic diet, which is interesting. Thanks for addressing this. Okay, one thing I want to talk about real quick with cyclical keto and adding carbs back in. If you are still trying to heal your body, don't do cyclical keto.
This is not for you right now.
Okay? You hit the nail on the head. Like, again, remember one thing about different AIs like Gemini or Grok or ChatGPT, they're not always right. In fact, ChatGPT down on the bottom of every post says, I could be wrong.
I could be wrong.
Okay. So just remember that. And a lot of times you'll ask a question, it'll give you an answer. And if you don't know that that's not quite right, you're going to assume that's right. You have to ask more questions. But what about this? And then all of a sudden it will correct itself. You hit the nail on the head here. To boost athletic performance.
Is this what you're doing? Is in the moment that you're trying to carb cycle or do cyclical keto, is it because you have such a strenuous workout routine that you need to help with it?
Yeah.
Or is it just that I would really like a carb right now and more of them?
Here's the thing.
And I would like to create an entire worksheet for why I need this prescribed to me.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You don't need carbs for athletic performance. You don't need them. We have a lot of friends in the space that have proven that. You can go look at our friend Robert Sykes, Keto Savage. He is a natural competitive bodybuilder who does not utilize carbohydrates. And look at him. If you're a guy, do you want to look like him? I would.
Sure.
I'd love to look like Robert.
I think you're cute though, by the way.
You don't need the carbohydrates. Can they help, especially women in certain instances? Yes. But the first thing you have to do is heal your body. And when you do something like cyclical keto, understand this. If you have a carb day, let's say a lot of people will do it like 5 days keto, 2 days I'm going to eat carbs. And I'm talking about healthy carbs. I'm talking about sweet potatoes. I'm not talking about eating sugar. I'm talking about eating sweet potatoes and things like that. Yucca. Let's say on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday and Sunday you eat carbs, and then Monday through Friday you eat keto. Well, you're eating those carbs on Saturday and Sunday, it's going to take you 2 days to get those carbs out of your system. So you're not really back into ketosis until Tuesday/Wednesday. Then you're eating keto that whole week, and then you're in ketosis Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday you're knocked back out. That is not going to help you heal your body, and it's certainly not going to help you lose weight. So cyclical keto is after you've been doing this for years and have healed your body.
And maybe still not then. I'm going to tell you, just because, again, ask me how I know. If you're doing cyclical anything, I wouldn't do it on your weekend, whatever those days off are. Mm-hmm. Because you can't imagine the debauchery that I can cram into my days off of work. So I would say that if you're going to do cyclical keto, it probably wouldn't even be on Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. It wouldn't be like, hey, my cyclical keto starts on Friday night, ladies. Like that would probably not be what I'd advise.
Next one is from Mark.
Hey, Mark.
My problem last year wasn't so much that I was eating, but the quantities were a little high. And I worked like a dog from October to December, so I wasn't exercising, and I was on my feet for 14 plus hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. By the time I had my annual physical with the VA at the end of December, I gained 15 pounds. My A1C was still normal, but they were used to seeing it at 4.8. They threatened to reclassify me as a pre-diabetic, even though I've been in optimal range for 4 years. That's kind of garbage.
Yeah.
Long story short, I got lazy. I increased my portion sizes too much, and it bit me in the butt. I'm almost done losing the weight I want, and my A1C should be back to the old level by the time I get my labs done in 60 days. So one thing I do want to talk about is if you've been eating a low amount of food, and I'm talking about 1,400, 1,500 calories. If you're a guy eating 1,700, 1,800, and then you slowly increase your food. Like, this week I eat 1,800, next week I eat 1,900, and you slowly increase it. You should have no issues. That's actually a good thing. You're going to speed up your metabolism. If you all of a sudden holidays come and you go from eating 1,500 to 2,500 calories, yeah, you can gain 15 pounds in a month. No problem. But you also have something in here with you were eating on your feet 14 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week.
That's a lot of stress.
Go back to the stress thing.
Yeah.
You're moving, but you're stressing. Stress will increase your A1C. Mm-hmm. Also, if you get a cold.
Sure.
All of that stuff increases your blood sugar. If you're in a chronic stress, you could literally go from an A1C of like 4.8 to 5.8 in 90 days if you're in chronic stress, even though you're not eating sugar.
Yeah, Mark, I would say, first of all, if you're going to the VA, then I want to say thank you so much for your service. We appreciate you as a veteran. But when I see that post, it sounds to me like what you needed prescribed to you is grace.
Yeah.
Because you were stressing, you were working really hard, you're on your feet all the time. That's the reason why the numbers were moving. So to me, it reminds us that, like, what seat of prominence are we giving turds?
Yeah.
That was a turd doctor move.
Right.
To be like, if you don't fix this, then I'm going to, punish you in how I talk to you in your medical files. I'm going to write down in your medical files like that this person has done something wrong and gotten themselves back into this thing. That person is a jerk.
Yep.
That's not something that you need to roll with. But a lot of times, this is what we do. Somebody that I respect because of their position in life has spoken into my life, and like, look what the answer was to that. It was like, I just let myself go because I can totally understand the whole attitude of like, why bother?
Right.
Like, my doctor's already mad at me. So I'm really proud of you for doing the hard work to recover from this. But like, moving forward, just, remember, if I'm going to go see Dr. Turd today because this is the doctor that's assigned to me and this is the person I want to see, like, that's fine. I'm doing my best. But this is not where I'm getting life advice from.
Right. Terry said lack of sleep raises my A1C. Absolutely, because it's stress.
Yeah.
Next one is from Kale Ranch.
Hey.
I live in East Texas. Where's the best place to buy kimchi and what brand?
Now I see it more and more in different grocery stores. It used to be just like a Whole Foods thing or just a Sprouts thing, but now I see it in Publix. I see it in Walmart. I like the Cleveland brand. They have a really tasty kimchi that's, I would say, beginner mode, because there's some that have more fish sauce in them, and that has a taste that some people don't enjoy. But they have a really nice, just make sure that if you're not a spicy person, look and see if it's saying that it's spicy, because there are some kimchis that are also spicy. So you're looking at that as well. The other thing that I really like from the Cleveland brand is they have a kimchi pickle that is delicious. You talk about something that's really going to make your burger experience tasty. It's those kimchi pickles. But there's other ones. There's a brand that I see a lot in Whole Foods, but I see it other places that's called like my mother-in-law's brand. I think it was just, a nod to this gentleman's, mother-in-law was good at making kimchi. So I would check out that one as well.
So I would look in Costco. What's that big grocery store in Texas? We're not in Texas.
Oh,
I forget the name of it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You Texas people know what I'm talking about. That really awesome HEB.
Yeah.
HEB, I know, has it because we've bought some in HEB when we were in Texas. Also, if you have any kind of Oriental markets, especially a Korean market near you,
excellent.
If you have a Korean market near you, that's where you should be getting your kimchi from.
You are lucky.
Because they're making it fresh. This is not packaged stuff. They're making it fresh. And so if you have a Korean market near you, go to the Korean market to get all of your kimchi. Kimchi is really healthy for you, fermented foods. RFK just actually put up a whole thing. Of course, he's getting a lot of flack for promoting the fact that he's basically eating carnivore and fermented vegetables, but he lost a bunch of weight, increased his muscle mass, lost his visceral fat.
What are you angry about?
I don't know where he lost visceral fat from. I mean, the man's like a beast.
But I'm just saying that, like, if it's working, it's,
Next one is from Sonia.
Hey, Sonia.
Rachel and Joe, you do all the research for us, and this one is definitely a winner. I fell asleep last night early after only a few sips on my coffee. So this morning, I poured it into my tasty, and no coffee was sacrificed to the drain in the sink. Tasted just as good as freshly made, and it is delightfully just the right hot temperature for this old lady.
I am so glad to hear that, Sonia. Yeah, we are so hesitant to share anything until we have really used it a lot and found it to be something that enhances our life, doesn't add more clutter to my life. And so I really enjoy that tasty. And here's the fact. We are doctoring our coffees with all kinds of stuff that is not free.
Right.
So if for some reason, you don't finish it, I don't necessarily always want to turn it into an iced coffee, and I certainly don't want to pour it down the sink. So I'm really thankful for Tasty.
So that is the Tasty, like basically battery operated mug. There's a link for Tasty down below. When you use our link, you get a discount. And it's really cool because you can make it hot, you can make it cold. My only complaint is it doesn't hold enough. It holds more than a normal size coffee, but not a Rachel size coffee. Let's go ahead and take a quick fade to black. So speaking of coffee,
of a Rachel beverage, I make way more than I need.
So we came back home to the new Equip cookies and cream. Coffee, cookies and cream, a splash of heavy cream. Oh my gosh.
So mine is
over ice.
Mine is over ice, just the water and a scoop. That's it. There's nothing else in mine.
Oh no, I put coffee in mine.
And it is freaking delicious. I will tell you that, you know what it tastes like? It tastes like the Oreo sandwich cookies.
Oh yeah.
That's what it tastes like. It doesn't taste like the cream on the inside. It tastes like the cookie.
The cookie.
So now I haven't added anything to it, but I like the fact that it doesn't taste over sweet.
Yeah. Next one is from Anthony.
Hey, Anthony.
I just finished listening to your podcast about the food pyramid. Can you please explain further on protein pastas and how it is not absorbed the same as meat protein? I know someone who eats a lot of that protein pasta to get protein. Ooh, this is going to get spicy.
Well, I think it's important because you do see a lot of beautiful marketing that is telling you that you can get your protein from like fortified breads and pastas.
Okay. Pea protein is not as good as animal protein. There, I said it.
Okay.
So
you want to move on?
No, I don't want to move on because I'm going to tell you why. Okay. I'm not telling you to never eat pea protein. Yes, I put that on the thumbnail because you got to put something catchy on the thumbnail. I'm not going to tell you never eat pea protein, but it should not be your main source of protein. If you want to have it a little bit here and there, that's fine. It's not going to kill you, but it's not as good as animal protein. And any vegetarian or vegan who tells you it is, they're wrong. Okay? Here's why.
Don't soft coat it.
Animal proteins contain all 9 essential amino acids in the right proportions. Pea protein is very low in methylene and leucine. Now, here's the thing. Leucine is the amino acid that actually turns on your muscle protein synthesis, but there's very little of it in pea protein. So that means that your body cannot really build and repair the same with pea protein as it can with animal protein. Animal protein is a lot more efficient.
Right.
Okay, so leucine is like a switch for muscle maintenance, for your fat burning, for your metabolism, for your blood sugar, and for also aging well. So that really matters a lot for if you're a woman over 40.
That's me.
If you're dieting, which is most of us, or if you're trying to avoid any muscle loss, because again, you need the leucine to turn on your muscle protein synthesis. Also, animal protein is much more bioavailable. For example,
is the whole point.
So for example, eggs, the protein in eggs and whey is about 95 to 100% usable. The protein in beef is about 90% usable.
Eggs for the win.
That's why I tell you all the time, eggs are the best food. They are the health food. Eggs are healthier than beef any day of the week. They have all of the vitamins and nutrients you need in them, and they're almost 100% bioavailable. Pea protein is only 70% bioavailable. So the protein within pea protein. So what that means is 25 grams of pea protein is like eating 17 grams of egg protein or whey protein. So what that means, so with pea protein, you actually have to eat a lot more of it to get the same effect if you're eating an animal protein. And that doesn't even take into account the amino acid profile.
Well, and think about that, because people are already complaining, I can't get any more food in. So you're not even getting all of the benefits when you're using pea protein.
Well, it's even worse than that. It's worse than that because pea protein isn't as satisfying or satiating.
No.
Also, pea protein has anti-nutrients like lectins and phytates. It causes gas and GI distress. And like I said, you absorb less, which means you have to eat more. And it's just not as nourishing to your body. When it comes to animal protein, it's got zinc, heme iron, B12. It's got fat-soluble vitamins.
Choline.
The pea protein basically requires a vacation, okay? And it lacks the cholesterol and the key cofactors that are needed for your hormones. So you really have to look at it at the end. Animal protein is going to trigger really strong satiety hormones, and it reduces your cravings. Pea protein is also usually paired with gums and seed oils and sweeteners, and it's less satisfying. So stop eating pea protein as your main source of protein.
I think it's something that you use sporadically, like in a pinch.
Yeah.
But it's not the cornerstone of your diet.
If you're eating like mostly beef and then having one of the keto bricks that are made with pea protein, you're fine. But your sole source of protein should not be a plant protein like pea protein. It's just not as good for you. And it takes longer for your body to use. Your body has to work harder, and it doesn't do the same thing.
And then you have to put onto that, because you weren't just talking about pea protein. You were specifically asking us about the noodles.
Well, they're all made with pea proteins and legumes.
But that's not the only thing that's in them. A lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you are not even getting the full value of something that is already a lesser than protein.
Yeah.
So you really are you're falling prey to good marketing.
Yeah. I mean, again, if you're eating beef and then you want to have a little bit of that, if you can find a very low carb one, which is almost impossible, find a really good protein pasta that's made with legumes, that's fine. But that protein pasta should not be your main source of protein. Next one is from Wild Zen.
Hey, Wild Zen.
Okay, this one kind of tacks onto that. So with muscle loss and GLP-1s, due to not eating, is that okay? Because what about with fasting and not eating protein at all or anything? Does that not cause muscle loss? I'm trying to understand the difference. I'm not on a GLP-1. Okay, so I had a couple of nasty comments, but I didn't delete them, but whatever.
We're not going to give you a sit of prominence if you're just going to be mean.
You will lose muscle if you are on a fast or you're not eating enough, but not nearly like you will have on a GLP-1.
If you're not actively trying to protect your muscle by incorporating a lot of protein and working out regularly.
Yes. So there's a difference between what happens with the GLP-1 and what happens if you're on a fast. That, by the way, is one of the reasons you would do a protein sparing fast, which is where you're eating high protein, but you're really not eating any fat. So you're having a fast, but you're giving your body protein. The short answer in the difference is that GLP-1s block the signals that protect your muscle. So fasting triggers the protective adaptive mechanisms that GLP-1s don't even activate. When you fast, your body is going to increase growth hormone, it increases glucagon, it increases fat oxidation, it prioritizes muscle preservation because it's trying to protect itself. And it will also, if you're doing a true fast, recycle your damaged tissue through autophagy. So on a fast, your body knows what to do on a fast, and it will protect your muscle. You'll still lose some, but it will protect them. GLP-1s simply tell your brain that you're full. So that causes the slow digestion. It lowers your insulin demand, but they don't trigger the fasting hormones because you're still eating.
It's telling you you're
bypassing that.
It's telling your body you're eating. You're just eating enough.
Yeah.
It's not triggering a fasting hormone.
So what happens is your body becomes like in this weird limbo when you're on a GLP-1 because your calories are low. Your protein is low and your insulin is low, but your growth hormone's not elevated and your glucagon signaling is blunted. And so then you have your mechanical hunger signals are then silenced. So it's interpreting that as it's an energy scarcity and it doesn't have a plan for that. So the muscle becomes expendable. The real danger with both of them, whether you're fasting or if you're on a GLP-1, is the rapid weight loss.
Rapid weight loss is dangerous.
If you drop your weight too fast and your protein is insufficient, along with not having any resistance training, and then you have muted hormone signals, your body basically says, shrink the engine. Okay, so the engine is your metabolism. You need a smaller engine. You're not giving me enough fuel to run this engine. And your muscle is that engine. So it basically makes your muscle shrink to slow down your metabolism. You will lose muscle on fasting though. Like I said, it's just not as much. When you fast and you have low protein, you'll lose the muscle, but it's minimal.
But only if you do it short term.
Yeah, only if you're doing it short term.
If you are chronically under eating on purpose, anorexia, basically, like, of course you are going to do it. But we're talking about people who may be using fasting,
if you're doing short term, a 3-day fast once a month, and there the muscle loss is reversible with a refeed.
Right.
If you're eating a moderate amount of protein, but not optimal protein, and this is where you get people talk about, well, this is what Dr. Fung says, because you're not reading the whole thing that Dr. Fung is talking about. Okay. If you're eating moderate protein, but you're not optimal, and you're moving your body, but you're not doing resistance training, you'll have muscle loss, but it'll be very, very slow. And you can offset that with resistance training.
Right.
Now, if you eat a moderate to low amount of protein, like not optimal protein, and you move and you do resistance training, you can preserve your muscle, but you're kind of preserving at a very minimal level with what you have.
You're not building.
The older you get, the more protein you have.
You
need, right. So the danger is really when you eat low protein, you don't do resistance training, and you don't do any refeeds. That's going to lead to the gradual muscle loss, the lower metabolic rate, and reduced strength. But it is slower than GLP-1s. That's the real problem.
Yeah, GLP-1s are faster to get you to...
GLP-1s without a lot of protein and
resistance
lifting heavy is dangerous.
Yeah.
So the bottom line, it comes down to like short-term low or zero protein is going to give you minimal muscle loss, and often you won't have a lot. Long-term insufficient protein without fasting and without lifting is going to lead to real muscle loss over time.
Yeah.
So that's why we always emphasize protein. And we're not the only people that say you need to eat protein. Protein is the building block. This is why they've changed the dietary guidelines to the bare minimum to what your body really needs. Again, if you're eating 60 or 70 grams of protein, you are eating the bare minimum. And somebody had commented on our video last week that if they eat more than 30 grams of protein, their blood sugar goes through the roof. That's because you're not eating enough fat. You should be eating 1 gram of protein to 1 gram of fat. So if for every gram of protein you're having, you should be having a gram of fat. If you're eating very little fat and you're eating high protein, your body is basically going, you're not giving me any fuel, so I'm going to use the protein. It doesn't want to use the protein.
No, it's very inefficient.
You look at it this way, okay? And I know we're kind of ranting on this, but this is important. Let's say your car is the worst car in the world.
Fuel efficient wise? And
you are getting 4 miles per gallon of fuel in your car.
I feel like we've had cars that are that
I had a truck that was close to that.
Yeah, it was very close.
So let's say your car is the worst car in the world and you get 4 miles per gallon of fuel, and the fuel is fat. And now you don't have any fat, so you're going to switch it to protein. Well, now, instead of getting 4 miles to a gallon of fat, your car will get 1 mile to every 4 gallons of protein.
That would be a lot of trips to the gas station.
That's how inefficient your body is at using protein. It can do it, but it doesn't want to do it. That's why it's on the very bottom of the list of oxidative priority. It only does it when it needs to. So if you're not giving your body fat, your body will utilize that protein as fuel, and it turns it into sugar. And I know somebody's going to say, but I have a bunch of fat on my body. But if you're not actively giving your body fat,
you're not priming the pump.
Your body doesn't want to use that fat because, again, it's like being on a GLP-1 and it's like, I don't know what's going on, so I'm going to save whatever I have. And that's why it's really, really important.
Yeah.
Next one is from Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
The key to doing a GLP-1 properly and safely is not really complicated. Start low, go slow, eat 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal weight, minimum. Lift heavy stuff, increase your weight as strength builds. I personally have added creatine and testosterone to ensure that I maintain and even gain muscle. With all that being said, it is incumbent upon each person to educate themselves and be prudent with their utilization of this tool. 100% agree, and use a healthcare professional.
Yeah.
And the online companies like Zoom and all them, I guess they're never going to sponsor me. That's not a healthcare professional. We've been offered. We had a company recently reach out and ask if they can sponsor videos. But since I don't actively use a GLP-1, I'm not going to have you sponsor my channel.
Not in good
and
conscience.
I'm not willing to be a guinea pig.
But listen to what Kelly is doing. Put that back up again. So we're using a GLP-1 with a tool, as a tool is what she's doing. Okay. But I see somebody who is also meticulously tracking to make sure that they are getting in the amount of protein. I see somebody that is also lifting heavy. So they've got a big time workout routine going on there. They also are adding creatine and even hormone replacement therapy to ensure they're able to gain muscle. Are you willing to do all of this to use that tool?
Right.
In the hand of me, a chainsaw, not good. Not a good idea. Joe is fantastic, thankfully, at using a chainsaw. You've got training. You know what you're doing. When that tool is in your hand, a tree falls where it's supposed to.
Right.
If the tool is in my hand and I don't know what I'm doing and I'm not trying to do all of this stuff,
we're going to the emergency
room and we're probably going to lose the house because I'm not going to know where to follow that tree. So I would say if you are contemplating using a tool like this, don't just say, well, everybody's doing it, so I'm just going to do it too. Do not push, I'm buying this stuff unless you're willing to do all all those things.
Okay. And again, not against GLP-1s. We just want to help protect you.
But look at that.
We want to protect you.
Look what Kelly's doing.
Next one is from Robin.
Hey, Robin.
Metabolic flexibility is why Dr. Atkins originally planned include added back in carbs 5 at a time. Yes. That is just where I fell into problems.
I think that
because my adding carbs was not adding a sweet potato.
Well, here's the thing. Honestly, in my opinion, it was that the carb reintroduction phase was too soon. It was too soon.
I would agree.
It was a matter of weeks. And I understand that that's what, our brains can handle. We get bored. And if I'm trying to sell you something, I want something that changes up a lot because I know you're going to get bored and I don't want you to leave this book or this platform or this way of doing things, right? So I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to have you reincorporate fast. But to me, it's like saying, well, this cast will be off 6 weeks before you actually need it to be off.
I don't think if you're on keto, you should not be even thinking about adding any carbs until you've been on keto. Real keto or carnivore, like never having a cheat day for a minimum of 1 to 2 years.
And I think a lot of people would struggle with that. That would be by the time that you're done with 2 years of keto, when are we going to get to add it back in is kind of gone. You're doing like, when is this going to be over? Pretty early on, like 6 months. I'm still waiting for you're waiting for your birthday to come around so that you can have kind of a party on your birthday, or you're waiting for like the holidays to come around so you could be like, what can I have if I've been good for this long? But after a couple of years, it loses its luster, where you're like, debauchery, my pirate life is coming soon.
Well, here's the example. So I'm 9 years in keto. We found Carnivore Bar 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago.
Somewhere around there.
Right? We found Carnivore Bar 3 years ago. At the time, they had the garlic, they had salted, they had unsalted, and then they had a honey one.
Maybe 4 years now.
And I wouldn't even touch the honey one.
Right. You wouldn't.
Now I will have the apple pie or a honey one. I use it strategically, but I have 0 bump in my blood sugar. But it's been 9 years.
Yeah.
Right. But I wouldn't touch it 7 years ago.
No.
Because I didn't think I was metabolically healed.
You were afraid that
not 7 years, but 2 years ago.
I am going to chase this carnivore bar with a candy bar.
Yeah.
Is what you were concerned about.
Next one is from Patty.
Hey, Patty.
Thank you, Joe and Rachel. I'm so glad you were pointing out that ridiculous phrase.
What's the phrase?
From last week's podcast? No?
Oh, keto worked, ... until it didn't.
You hit the nail right on the head. If and when keto stops working, it's all on me, not keto. The bite of the candy bar, the occasional eating of a food that is carb-filled. When I get right back in keto, it all feels better. Joint pain gone, sleep better. It's interesting, those who bring up flexibility never say if they gain weight unless they are getting injections. And somebody had mentioned there was a 4th one using GLP-1s. I think more people are using that as an excuse. I'm not saying that I want to be clear. I'm not saying there are some people who that helps at the end, like keto worked till it didn't, and then they start using a GLP-1. But again, I kind of go back to, I think that there is a very, very small amount of people where that was the issue, that the signaling with the GLP.
Well, the marketing that we're seeing in social media, they want you to believe that every single person needs it and they're having a lackluster life without it. But you've come too late for that, because I've had people over the last 9 years basically say a childhood without sugar is a lackluster childhood. And I'm like, that's not true.
Right.
Like that is like, what are you talking about? But there is marketing. There's not going to be a reason for someone to say, don't go on it.
Well, my thing is that even those people,
I think it's a very small amount of people that actually,
the few people I think that where it helps with fixing some of those things, it goes back to the other issue that I talked about, whereas they had issues prior to keto or keto uncovered issues.
Sure.
And a lot of them were self-inflicted, AKA getting gastric bypass surgery.
What I've done to my body.
Extreme dieting.
Trust me, we have had to go through a lot of healing from 2 straight years of 500 calories a day of malnourishment. That's going to cause problems. You know what I mean? So it took a really long time for me to grow hair. I had to go through a lot of stuff with my skin to like go from green to not green.
Right.
You know, there was a lot of damage done. That was me. That wasn't keto.
Right.
That was me. I have to heal from that.
The whole point of that podcast was people are using a clickbait title of keto worked until it didn't. And
to get new clients.
And the thing is that if you were doing keto and then you needed to change things up, it doesn't mean keto stopped working.
Well, and you're still back at, this is the frustrating part, because I see people frustrated when you have been trying to like figure it out and you're like trying to dial in the fat and you're trying to like, see how much protein that you need. People are already like having a hard enough time with that. Then you're like, keto doesn't work anymore. And I've got the secret magical golden path to what you need. They never tell you exactly. Okay, well, how many carbs? Well, that's individual. Well, we're right back where we've said.
Right.
It's always going to be an N=1 experiment. Anybody's like, well, I know what is the best thing. Even if they're doing something, they know what's the best thing for them right now. They don't know what's the best thing for you.
Next one is from Karen. I'm looking for dairy-free yogurt suggestions. The dairy-free coconut milk yogurt is crazy high in carbs. You can make it yourself. Maybe I should make a video on how to do this. We made one years ago, but that was before the Instapot version.
Yes.
So you can use canned coconut milk and canned coconut cream. You can use that.
It's good.
And here is I need to make a video on it, but basically instead of using milk, you're going to use canned coconut milk and canned coconut cream. You're going to use 2 cans of coconut milk and 2 cans of coconut cream. That will have enough sugar. And then there's a link down below for like Ruderi for that particular strain, which is actually better than just yogurt you're going to buy in the store anyway. So you order that, use the link down below. I think it's like $15 for 10 packets of it. And once you have a batch, you can keep using that batch for 3 or 4 more batches to be the culture. In that instance, because you want dairy-free, don't go to the store and buy Faje because that's a dairy yogurt.
Right.
And when it comes to your carb count, remember the cultures are eating the sugars and then you can strain off extra sugar. So maybe we'll make a video about it. But basically, yes, substitute canned coconut milk and canned coconut cream for regular milk and you'll get the same result. Next one is from Joanna.
Hey, Joanna.
You announced at each opening video that keto allows you to live beyond the couch. Yeah, we stopped doing that, but we do say it a lot. Now, I would think that a person new to keto would ask, what does that mean? If you never spoke of cruising or RVing or hiking or group events, etc., on your videos, then they'd never understand your channel or just how much keto can change your life. To me, it seems that these people are looking for channels to educate them about keto. Let them move on or do what I had to do back in 2016. Go to the internet and do your research. Keep doing you. We love you for it, and we'll always be here.
Thanks, Joanna. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, we probably do need to kind of share every once in a while, for new people coming in. Because some people find us through Dr. Berry, they find us through Keto Chow because they started, using Keto Chow. Like, well, what was life?
Some people find us because we RV and then tell everybody we lost weight and they want to know how. And when we were on the cruise, we had several people like, you lost how much?
Right.
Well, tell me how.
But I think that it is important to sometimes remind people of where we came from.
Yes.
And it is still like I'm watching you around the cruise and I'm watching you climb up things, climb up stairs and things like that. And, that never gets old, that you can move your body, that you can go for long distances, that you can climb things, that you don't have to be in a motorized scooter anymore or a wheelchair. I don't have to push you. We went all around the MSC Island, which is absolutely freaking beautiful. PS.
Right.
But it's nice to see you get to explore it on your own terms, not where I'm pushing you.
Right. You just don't want to push me.
I do. I mean,
last one is from Bonnie.
Hey, Bonnie.
Bonnie said, I used to have the standard cheap dehydrator with the fan on the bottom and the plastic trays that stack.
Sure.
I had to leave that behind in an unexpected hurried move. I mainly used it for dehydrated steakums, but I was always fearful of the grease dripping into the fan. A lot would collect in the bottom. It was hard to clean. So I'm hesitant to buy the same kind to replace it. Is there a better style that isn't super expensive?
I love our Kasori.
I would not. That was my first dehydrator years ago.
Yeah.
It used to be an infomercial when I was a kid.
I got one from a thrift store once.
By the Kasori. What you want is one with a fan in the back. The Kasori, you can get the Kasori for somewhere around $100. I have a link for one down below. You have Kasori, London Sunshine. We've reviewed them both. They're very similar. Go on Amazon. If you go on Amazon and search, use the link down below to get to Amazon. But when you do that, you'll see suggestions, or once you're in Amazon after using our link, go in and on the top put just dehydrator and you'll see them all pop up, and you're going to see about 10 different ones pop up that look just like the Kasori.
Right.
Sometimes they're a little bit cheaper. The reason I recommend Kasori is because most of them are all just a company rebranding something made in China. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
We see that
you
with
find
bikes.
That with everything. I'm looking right now for a vacuum pump to put a mini split in the house. And when you go on Amazon and type in mini split or AC vacuum pump, 50 of them pop up. They all look identical with different names. It's one company in China, and then people go and buy it and brand their own name.
Right.
So now what I'm looking for is reviews, whether or not it's on Prime, and also the company itself. Kasori, our experience has been they stand behind their product. So even if there's another company, and we don't make any money from Kasori except for the couple of pennies when you use our Amazon link, they never sponsored us or anything. But in my experience, if you have a problem, they stand behind it, as opposed to Mao Fang Dehydrator. I don't know, I'm making that name up, right? But you know what I'm saying? Like there are some you can't even pronounce.
Can't find them.
And the problem is this, with any product that is coming from China, it's only as good as the company that's standing behind it. That's why when it comes to RV batteries, and I talk about like go to Big Beard Battery, they're made here in the United States. Why? Because the company is here in the United States. And when you have a problem with it, you can call them. If you have a problem with a product that is coming directly from China, their hours are different.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem, you have to send them an email. When you send them an email, they're going to answer you at 3 a.m. Then you get up the next day, you get your answer. Now you answer them back, and it takes about a week. Kasori seems to be very different. I've contacted them and get an answer back right away. And so it really comes down to who stands behind it. So spend the $20 more and get the Kasori. You may find one for $20 less, but Kasori's a better name.
Well, because it was funny. It was interesting to me. So Tasty is like that. Tasty is based in China. Right. It is a Chinese company.
But they have an American presence.
And so I was at Hack Your Health, and I don't think Donna Jo will be upset with me for sharing this, but she had a problem with her Tasty air fryer. And she had gotten like an original one. And so now, they've upgraded it. It's got like ceramic, coating through everything. It's real, real nice. Because it just came to mind because we were talking about the Tasty mug earlier. So she said, I'm having trouble with this thing. And so I said, well, did you reach out to them? And she was like, well, no. And so she did. Not only did they fix it, they didn't fix it. They just replaced it with the new one.
Right.
So when we were at Hack Your Health and Tasty was there, I went over to the co-owner. You saw that we interviewed her briefly. And I said, I just want to thank you for having good customer service, because me and Joe are out here talking about you guys because we've enjoyed your product. But if you're going to be a knucklehead that as soon as somebody has a problem, you don't stand by your product, we look like jerks.
Right.
And I don't want to look like a jerk. So if Donna had a situation where they didn't make it right, do you think I would ever talk about a Tasty again? No. I wouldn't. No. Because people are thinking, I'm not back here pumping out air fryers. But if we talk about them and recommend them, I need to know that company is going to stand by that product in case there's a problem.
Customer service is the most important thing to me. When it comes to a doctor, bedside manner is the most important. I would rather have an average doctor with amazing bedside manner.
Sure.
Over the best doctor in the world who is horrible. There's actually a movie about that. It's with William Hurt.
Yeah.
It's called The Doctor.
That was good.
Very, very good movie. But I tell you, when my kids were little, I left a pediatrician because they had the worst bedside manner ever.
So bad.
Worst. Then the pediatrician I ended up going to, what I liked about this pediatrician was you would literally call her up, because we didn't really have texting back then. You would call her up and she knew everything about my kids, like by heart. She remembered everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it. But if your front office staff sucks, I don't want you as a doctor. I don't care if you are the most skilled surgeon in the world.
Agreed.
If your front office sucks, no.
Well, it's like teachers that you've had in your life. It's not just that they were, great, like they had the most credentialing ever. It was how they made you feel. How did they work with you? Did you feel cared for? Because then it was like you were open up to receive the information.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, let's go through some of these chats. JJ said, I got the one that looked like a Kasori and thought I was getting a good deal. Turned out to be a Temu version that was 2/3 of the side of the Kasori.
So it was so funny when we were on the cruise director, which I checked with, he was really nice, Neil. He's not going to be there in October.
No, but I think he's going to be there in March when Robin goes.
Oh, that's neat. Super nice guy, but it was funny because he had a jacket on and it was like one side was like super, super sparkly and the other side, nothing. And he goes, so he comes out with the sparkly side and he was like, do you like this? And everybody's like, oh yeah, that's handsome. Like he looks very, sparkly. And he's like, nothing. And he was like, this is my Temu jacket. So in the picture, it looked like the entire jacket was the same. And then when I got it, it was just like one side is the same.
The funny thing was when he said the thing about Temu, like ordered it in December of 2024.
Arrived last week. That was like wish.com.
That is true.
Do you remember that? I remember one time Anthony had gotten me like Harry Potter makeup brushes.
They took 7 months.
It was so long. Like when they came, I was like, oh, Anthony was like, oh yeah, I forgot. That was supposed to be for like Mother's Day. And this is like Christmas.
JJ said, I made some 2KK yogurt this week. I forgot it in the fridge. Straining 3 days later, it is so thick and delicious. I like to strain it for 2 or 3 days.
I like it when I forget about it in there.
Lady Fritz just said, keto works. People go off and slide off for various speeds,
Sure.
from gradually to immediately. Losing focus and losing community seems to be the very common ingredient.
I agree. My whole thing is, if someone says like, I'm tapping out, I'm doing something different, I am so fine with that. I am so okay with that. When someone starts writing a term paper about why it's medically necessary for me to do this, now you've lost me.
Right.
Because what you're doing, like, own your decisions is my issue. Own your decisions. I respect you highly. We have people that are part of the 2KK family, not keto, never been keto, no intention of being keto. We love them. I don't need you to be keto to love you. Right. But for someone to come in and say like, hey, I've done this, it's working, but like, I need to do something completely different because it's medically necessary for me to eat little dibby Christmas trees. No.
Marie said, my 33-year-old daughter eats more carbs than I do. She has much less fat to lose than I do. I'm postmenopausal 58. She's convinced I need more carbs. I stay at 25 carbs a day. I respectfully disagree with her.
I do. I mean, Peyton does not need to follow the same protocol that we do.
Forget Peyton. Okay.
You know, I will never forget Peyton.
33 years old and needs to lose less fat than you.
There you go.
You don't want to increase your carbs, Marie. You want to lower them. If anything, I would say lower them.
Right?
There is no such thing as essential carbohydrate. Your body doesn't need carbohydrates. Your body needs fuel. And the bigger problem than carbohydrates that most people have within the keto and carnivore lifestyle is they are not eating enough. They come in here. They're from their chronic dieting mentality. I see this all the time, especially with women, and they're eating carnivore and they're eating 1,200 calories a day. They're eating 50, 60 grams of protein. They're eating like 50, 60 grams of fat. And they're like, I don't get it. Your body's in starvation mode. You should be eating, like, just to maintain your weight as a woman, you should be eating 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day. If you're a guy, 2,500 to 3,000 calories. If you're trying to lose weight, it should only be slightly less than that. It should not be 1,200, 1,300 calories. When you're going to go to 12 or 1,300 calories, that's because you've worked your way down. And by the time you get to 1,400, 1,500 calories, you should be working your way back up. So here's the thing. You mentioned Peyton. You don't even have to look at Peyton. Look at Michelle.
Yeah. She's not metabolically in the same situation as I was when I started.
So Michelle can eat a lot more. She can eat 100 total carbs a day.
Right.
And still put herself in ketosis. I cannot.
I don't think that the under eating is helped right now, as we are clearly heading back to embracing heroin chic. It's upsetting to me that, you know, for like 10 minutes, we were all into strong was sexy. And so you saw people who were like the body type that they would be like setting, you know, it was more like American Gladiator chicks, you know, it'd be like Lady Savage, Keto, you know, Natalie, Dr. Fit and Fabulous. We esteemed that like, okay, cool. I want to be strong. We like that for like 10 seconds, right? Want to be Linda Hamilton from Terminator 2 for like 10 seconds. And now we're back to, you know what would really look hot? If I look like Twiggy, or if I look like Fiona Apple in the 1990s. And so, and I see it, right? You see it where it's like now the pendulum is swinging back much too quickly, in my opinion, to what's hot is super mega ultra thin. And the problem is, if you're already having a hard time and you're looking in the mirror and you're saying, I'm so far from heroin chic that I need to actually increase what I'm eating, but I just can't allow myself to.
What was the actress's name that was really thin back in the, was it Calista Flockhart?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
She married Harrison Ford.
So here's the thing, ladies, I'm going to tell you something that's going to shock you. Most men don't like that look.
Well, I don't even care what the men want.
But a lot of women...
I care it's not.
Well, I think, first of all, I think a lot of women think this is what guys want, and they don't. We don't want that. Like, your sons have told you that too. But here's the thing. The problem is you're more in competition with each other.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, your friends don't need you to be wafy and falling over and sick.
No, be healthy.
I love you. I want you to live. I want you to be strong.
Right.
And so I think that we need to do more effort to like promote women to be like, we don't need to be a size -4.
You don't need to look like, what was that female wrestler that like was really buff, and I don't remember.
You don't
need to look like that.
Any extremes.
No.
You don't need to be extremes.
You know, and when I look
Can we
at
just
Natalie,
be average?
She looks awesome.
She looks awesome.
Know,
she looks
when I look
strong.
at Crystal, looks strong, awesome, but not like, again, like a man.
I was talking to a girl recently, and she's trying to lose weight, not even just lose weight, but like get stronger after having a baby. And she was just talking about like the pressure when she's just trying to heal her body, like the pressure that she was like, crap, I decided to have a baby when we're in the midst of going back to super pencil thin.
Right.
And I'm like, we don't have to, though.
We don't need
We
to.
can rebel against that if we choose.
Amy said, make your own kimchi. Most have sugar in them. I have a recipe for homemade kimchi, and you can actually make it the way you like. Yeah, we've made our own kimchi. I've contemplated making a video about it, but I didn't know if anybody would actually care about making our own kimchi.
Make the video so we can have some more kimchi in the house.
It's relatively easy to make, or you could even go the old-fashioned way. And like literally bury it in the ground, put it in a clay pot and bury it in the ground.
That'd be really cool.
Ferment. There was a MASH episode like that. It was really cool. But I mean, making your own kimchi is very similar to making your own sauerkraut, which we have a video on how to do that.
Very
super easy to do.
I think it's just got
more ingredients and stuff in it. John said, I like egg life wraps as noodles.
Me too. That's like easy. We were just cutting them with like the pizza cutter, but we need to get the actual egg life noodles that they have out now.
Yeah. Kelly said, we're in ice and wind chill is below 0. I hope you stay safe and warm, Lolo. Yeah.
Yes, we are praying for everybody
who is out there right now.
Your mom, oh my goodness.
18 inches of snow.
I can't express to you how tiny their tiny house is. Like, it is a tiny house, and I just see that snowbank going up her window, and I'm like, the house is this big. So just praying for them. They do have a coal stove. I know that they're utilizing.
Tony said, I saw one truck come down on the road since the big storm. We are thankful for our electricity staying on.
That's good. Thankful for you guys.
Carrie said, what's a peanut brittle's favorite holiday?
National Crack a Joke Day.
That's funny.
Didn't even know that was a holiday.
Let's see. Amy said, I'm turning 50 in a month. We are the same age, Rachel. So Tony wanted to know, how is the MSC private island? Okay, I don't want to get too much into cruising here, but I will tell you this. I love Coco Cay from Royal Caribbean, and the MSC island doesn't have pools. But if you want to be honest, if you want a pool, just go back on the ship. There's more pools that are more spread out and they're less crowded than a Royal Caribbean ship. And it's kind of cool because one of the pools has a retractable roof. And I happened to be up there when they were retracting the roof. The beaches at MSC Island are nicer. It's quieter. There's only one section with music. A lot more places to lounge out. It's not as rough because they have some interior ones and some exterior ones.
They've created a real bay. I think
it's a nicer island.
I do too. They've created a bay-like atmosphere, where it's like they can control the waves, know, from it. If it's raining, what are you going to do? But as far as just on like a sunny day, and we were in January, it wasn't like mega hot like you would, think like during the summer, but the water is beautiful. It's like that clear.
10 feet. You can see all the way to the bottom. What I would say is I'm not into this. So it's hard for me. it doesn't impact me, but it doesn't have the excursions that you would have on Coco K. They do things like wave running and snorkeling, and you could bring your own snorkel stuff, paddle boards, those kind of things, but they don't have like the water park, which I always tell people don't bother with that.
It's an extra price.
They don't have the zip lining, which honestly on their private island and for Royal Caribbean, no. Royal Caribbean has it, but it's not worth it. It's like $150 and it's over in 2 seconds. You're better off going when you go to Puerto Rico or something and doing zip lining. Right. So it doesn't have all the extra excursions, but as far as a relaxing beach day, best place we've ever been to.
I really
like better than the Virgin Islands, anything.
I really enjoyed the fact that it wasn't so much boots and pants music, boots and pants and like super, super loud. There were actually places where you could have a conversation and like hear yourself think. I would advise everybody going on the 2KK getaway cruise, bring your own mask and snorkel because it's shallow in places and you can see fish. Mm-hmm. So I would say like that is an easy thing. You know, they have snorkeling excursions that you can get.
But they also have where you can just go on your own.
But you can go on your own.
Yeah.
So just bring a mask and snorkel.
And I think the key to their island is there's only one dock. So there's only one ship. There's never more than one MSC ship.
It wasn't super crowded.
It's not crowded.
It was lovely.
And our ship, by the way, was completely booked. 5,000 passengers. Never felt like that. Even the parties, like the white party, never felt crowded. But the island, just because there's only one ship and it's a big island, it was not crowded.
What is kind of cool, and I mean, again, you'll see it in the video when we show it, but like the way it's configured, whenever there was like a party and we would be on the 2KK cruise in the promenade area, and you remember they'd have dancers or they'd have things, in one space, and you are trying to kind of like elbow your way to get a little bit of space. Like when we were seeing the tree lighting ceremony, you could be all the way at the other end of the promenade and you can't really see much except for you just know stuff's going on and you can hear music. The way this is that the place where stuff is happening is like this Times Square area. Well, there's like 4 flights that are all looking toward this space.
Right.
And so you have a beautiful vantage point where the stuff is happening right in front of you, but you could be on multiple decks. Yeah. And so you have a way better nice layout.
But again, we'll talk about that in another video so that it's not bombarded in here. And I did see before we get off, a lot of people asking us about that Alaska thing. It's just something we put in our head.
Yeah.
It would not be next year because like we could do it next year, but I wouldn't want to. We're thinking about doing 2 cruises a year to give people more opportunity, like one spring, one fall. So we'd probably be looking at like spring 2028 but I just in a quick glance without even getting group pricing, we can get interior cabin for 2 people completely, like $1,800 going to Alaska on MSC. It was like $2,700 to go on an ocean view balcony, and it was like $3,300 if you included unlimited alcohol and Wi-Fi. Which sometimes with them it's cheaper to do that, right? Because basically you pay for they give you such a good deal, you're not even paying for the alcohol.
Well, and you don't have to drink alcohol. You can get your sodas mocktails, like specialty coffees,
waters, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to get off. We will be back live on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Also, for those of you who are in our paid Mighty Networks group, that's people who want to support us financially, and that is on the Meatheads and Higher group. Rachel will be live on Wednesday at 10 a.m. to do her weekly coaching call. So if you didn't know that, for people who joined the paid part of Mighty Networks, you get things like that. I am trying to figure out how to post all of Rachel's Substack in there so that you don't have to go to Substack. Just trying to figure out the easiest way to do it where you can always go and read them. So if you are in the Meatheads group and all of a sudden see just a ton of posts going up, they're her Substacks, and I'm just trying to get them in there, but I can't find an easy way to put it in its own section without having another whole group.
Right.
So just letting everybody know. If you see them go up, I'm basically going to be posting all of her Substacks, and then every time she makes a Substack article or I have a Substack article, it'll get posted in there, and you won't have to go to Substack. You can just watch it right, or read it right in there. Everybody, we really appreciate you guys for joining us. We'll see you either Wednesday or on Thursday.
We love you guys.
Bye.